So ICE protesters in Minneapolis, Minnesota have now set up an autonomous zone that is blocking out local and federal law enforcement. So they've set up borders to keep out the law enforcement officers who are enforcing our border policies. If that doesn't make your brain hurt, I don't know what will. One of the things that people are failing to realize yet again is why this is really happening. What's the bigger picture here? And if you know what's going on, you know that it's just to further divide us. They've divided us pretty well, right and left. Now they're trying to divide us from within the right. They want to divide the right within the right and divide the left within the left. So this is no longer right, left, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican, MAGA, not MAGA. It's so far beyond that. And any of you who are awake know it is so far beyond that. There's such a bigger picture here. There's such a deeper meaning and something bigger going on here. And anyone who has two brain cells working by now, seeing everything that's happening, can figure that out. All these people that you see here, you've probably seen them in other protests. They're paid protesters. They're bussing them in. It's not even really hidden anymore. It's apparent. People are posting pictures of protesters on TikTok that are at 5 different protests for 5 different incidents. That's not coincidence. That is strategic. It's planned. These people are professional protesters that are being paid to go there and stir up violence and stir up chaos. What I want people to understand, as someone who did the job for 13 years, and I saw both sides of a lot of different things during that 13-year time period. It's okay to say, I agree that as a country we should have borders and we should have law enforcement who are protecting those borders and enforcing the law upon those who come across those borders illegally. And it's also okay at the same time to say, I don't agree with Alex Preddy being shot and killed. It's okay. You can say both. The news and the media is going to try to say that if you support, you can't say I support ICE and what they're doing and the basis and the foundation of what they're doing, and also support and stand with Renee Good in that she shouldn't have been killed. The news and the media will tell you you can't be both. You have to be one or the other. I support ICE, she deserved to die, or I am anti-ICE and she definitely didn't deserve to die. That's what they're telling you. They're trying to make you think that. They're trying to make you feel that. And the reality is you don't have to. You can think for yourself. You don't need to be divided on every single thing. You could use your eyes and watch videos and make your own assessment. I would see posts on social media during the Renee Good thing, and on a video where you can clearly see she hit the guy with her car and he gets thrown out of the way. Okay, it's on video. Got it. I'm not saying that because you see that you have to lean one way or another, but I'm saying that what you saw on video is what you saw on video, and it existed. And there are people literally in the comments saying she didn't hit him. She never hit him. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't care who you support. I don't care what you support. As a human being with working brain cells, you at least have to admit, oh okay, all right. Oh, maybe she didn't mean it, but she did hit him. Okay, so you can look at this Alex Preddy thing. He had a gun on him, but he didn't have it out. He had his phone. So you can say, yeah, this is wrong. There should be an investigation to figure out what happened here. What did he do? What triggered those shots to be fired? All the reports are saying he had a weapon on him, but he did not have that weapon out. It was not in his hand. That's what we're hearing so far. I don't know if there's any video that's going to come out to dispute that. But you can say that, yeah, I stand with enforcing the laws of our country. But yeah, I also don't think innocent people should be killed who are protesting. And during that protest, the reports are he was trying to defend another woman. So yeah, both can happen. And I don't want people to think that that can't be, because that, once again, is further dividing everyone. And that's what they want. That's what they want. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to follow along. You don't have to play that game. It's all a game. It's all a movie. We all know that. People who are awake know. You don't have to play that game. So a lot of people ask me, so what is the bigger picture? What is their ultimate goal in dividing us right and left, and then now trying to divide us from within, and probably try to divide us once again? After you divide from within, divide again. Well, obviously it's to weaken, right? You can't go after any group that's unified. You have to divide and conquer, the age-old saying. And the more times you divide, the easier it is to conquer. Anyone with common sense knows that. So I'm always thinking about, what are they dividing us for? What is their ultimate goal? What do they keep dividing and trying to divide and divide? The Charlie Kirk thing. Divide the people, like, even, the conservatives. Charlie was, murdered. Oh no, it was this kid on a rooftop who never shot a gun before and, jumped off a building like an assassin and a ninja. He's the one who did it, right? So they're trying to divide within the groups as well. And I'm always just saying to myself, man, what's the bigger picture here? What are they really trying to do? Because that's going to be what's scary. That's going to be the really scary thing. Whenever that happens, people are going to wake up and say, this must be it. This must be it. This is why they've kept trying to divide us and divide us and divide us. And I don't know what that might be. People ask all the time. But I do speculate it's probably going to be a power and control thing. It always is. What's the purpose of conquering any group or any play? It's to take control and take power. So it's most likely going to be a power and control thing. I just tell people, don't get distracted. I mean, you see people, once again, we saw it in Portland, and I think we saw it somewhere in Seattle, these autonomous zones. They didn't let police in, and there was all kinds of, sexual assaults, and I think even a murder that happened within these autonomous zones where they weren't letting the police in. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's all staged. It's all fabricated. We know that. Just don't get distracted by it. Don't get distracted by it. Don't believe everything you're seeing on the news, because we all know what we're seeing on the news is not even reality. They're just showing you what they want to show you, and they're telling you what they want you to hear. And we all saw this during the pandemic. I had a personal experience with it during the pandemic, where I was watching a news broadcast of a female reporter standing, white female reporter standing in front of a hospital, reporting that the hospital was now at capacity, and they're now moving patients to an overflow tent area, and the tent area was now almost at capacity. And she showed in the background these big white tents that were set up with the flaps kind of hanging down, and that's where the overflow of the sick patients were being moved. And it was right behind her, and she was pointing to it. It just so happened that I had a buddy of mine who was a police officer as well, who worked in the next town, not in that town, but in the next town over. And I was telling him, he's like, yeah, I don't know. I said, I'm actually watching a news report of this woman. She's actually at that hospital right by you. And he said, oh, no kidding. I said, yeah. And he said, I'm going to drive by. He drove by, and he goes by the tent, and he's obviously in his patrol car, and it's just on the border. You're allowed to go through streets that border your town, and there's no one in the tent. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, there's no one in that tent. He drove by, whatever, 15 minutes later. No one in the tent. I said, what do you mean there's no one in the tent? I just saw this woman on the news. She's pointing. She said, the hospital's full, and they've moved all the overflow patients in the tent, and now the tent's almost at capacity. He said, there's no one in the tent. The tents are empty. I said, wow, you just drove by, you looked in, and the tents are empty. And this woman's on the news telling you that the hospital is at capacity and the tents are full, almost full. Yeah. So just keep that in mind as you're watching some of these things. None of it's real. Just keep that in your mind. None of it's real. and it's all being staged, it's all being fabricated, and just worry about yourselves. Worry about protecting you, worry about your economy, worry about your family, worry about your protection, your safety, and your preparedness. That's all that matters, because whatever may come with all this divide, the people who are going to make it out of it are the people who are prepared for it to come in some capacity. Those who are just distracted by the news and the stories and the movie that they're playing in front of you, those people are going to be the first to go, because they're not going to be prepared whatsoever. The people who are going to make it through are the people who are right now looking at all the stuff, another autonomous zone where they're not letting in law enforcement. They're looking at that and they're saying, fake, paid actors, all a distraction. Let me just focus on me and make sure that I have everything prepared, everything set for what I need, and I'm going to worry about me. I'm going to worry about myself, my family, my loved ones, those around me. Those are the people who are going to be much better off than the people who are throwing their arms up in the air saying, oh my goodness, ICE did this again. Oh my god. Yeah, and divide you, right? Who do you stand with? ICE or the guy who got shot, the nurse? It's not about that. It's not about that at all. And you can be both. So just keep that in mind and just stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. I tell people that all the time when we were talking about being prepared and being ready for these things, whether it's when I'm talking to people about the training that I've done, talking to people about 221B Tactical, I just tell people the best thing you could do next to being prepared and staying ready is to be vigilant and be watching out for these things and notice the signs. What are the tells? And that's how you're going to make it through. All right. So thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. I'll see you next time.